I will be talking a little bit about crying. I love crying. Crying is a natural stress release method. Stress, you might ask, what is that? Stress is anything that comes at us that makes us feel uncomfortable and builds up our stress emotions. So anything that we interpret as negative or is not suitable for our system, whether it is physical, mental, or emotional, is a stress on our system. And these stresses, of course, they're everywhere. They come in forms like a busy day at work, getting up early again and I'm tired. For children, it would be having to go to school every morning to a new environment. If you have moved to a new country, having to deal with subjects that they may not understand, like a new language, having to make friends again because they lost their friends from the last country, having to cope with missing their grandma and grandpa because you have moved, having to deal with many, many things, including the fact that they sense and they feel that mom and dad are in a new environment and that mom and dad are doing their best to cope, but they can feel your stress and they can see that you're struggling. So that's stress for a child as well. These stresses all accumulate and they reach a point where they need to be released. The release comes in a natural form of crying. That's why I say I love crying. It's not so much the act of crying, but it's the release of everything that has accumulated in your system that does not suit your system. So that is going to be a big block that I'm going to dig into in a little bit. There are many stress release methods. Of course, you can exercise, you can go for a run, adults go boxing in the gym, children find singing very soothing. There are many, many ways, but these are all ways that we do ourselves. These aren't ways that we are born with. I'm talking natural release methods, and that's why crying will be the highlight, because it's not something we really go to do. It is our system that cries, our being, our avatar starts weeping when we've just had too much. And therefore, crying is beautiful because it is a release stress method and it helps you cope through your life. I am going to talk a little bit about how children react to their environment. If you grew up in an environment where you were under stress and the communication that came at you made you feel criticized in many ways, your behavior was not okay. But when these adults that took care of you didn't know how to distinguish between the behavior and the person, the beautiful soul that you are, you would have felt attacked. I'm going to give you an example. If you were a child and you were loud and the teacher or your parents said, "I don't like how loud you are, quiet down. This is too loud, it's hurting my ears, shush." When that is said in such a manner, what happens to us as children is we take offense and we think we're no good. We're loud. We're always loud. Mom is always telling me I'm too loud and I'm screaming and I'm hyper. So therefore, I am being criticized. And this comes with a little bit of, I don't like myself. Because a child will never think I don't like my mom or I hate my mom. It's always going to come in the form I don't like myself or I hate myself. Because I disappointed my mom who loves me the most. Regardless of what a parent does to a child, the child will continue to love the parent. The more you criticize a child, the more the child learns to hate themselves, not you. And in saying that, you have to be really careful in communication with children, because if you were told as a child, "Jonathan, you are an amazing child. I love you from here to the moon. You are fantastic, you are smart, you are brilliant, and I love everything about you." Now, I want to tell you something about the screaming. When we are inside, the screaming is so loud, it hurts my ears and it hurts the ears of the people in the room. I would like you, please, to do the screaming, loud voice outside and do a quieter talk, quieter inside, a softer voice like that. Because I know you're an amazing person and you can do that. Can you do that for me, please? What I did when I've explained this to you right now is I've separated the behavior from the person. They're two separate things. I would like the behavior to change. I love you as you are. So it's not an attack on the personality or the person himself. Again, I'm going to ask you, please take a moment to think about your childhood. Did you feel criticized? Did you feel that you were amazing, complete, and perfect? Was it okay to do what you did? Were you accepted for who you are? Or were you criticized for some things? And was that communication, most likely it was, entangled? It wasn't action and person. I say most likely because when you look back at our parents and their parents, you can clearly see that we are all victims of victims. None of our parents tried to hurt us on purpose. None of our caregivers really made a plan to get up that day and make it difficult for us at school. Everybody was trying to do the best that they can. So you see the growth of generations over time. We are now at a point where we have knowledge, more knowledge. We have the internet. We can look up things. We can see my child is doing this. What am I missing? You can easily step out there and break that cycle. We can go online and say, my child is kicking and screaming. How can I correct this behavior without damaging his self-love and self-esteem? And this is the beauty of our generation. I think this is it. I'm so happy and delighted to be living nowadays and to be able to see so many parents apply these beautiful methods to their children and see the difference it makes. Because when you do that and you work with your children with that method, you actually heal yourself. You heal the childhood you had. So everything that happened to me in the past is connected to who I am today, which is connected to my parenting towards my child today. And if I take a moment to be self-aware and to consciously parent my child, I actually soothe myself and I consciously help my past, help myself move forward from that past. The way that I interpret the world around me is in steps. First, I perceive what he tells me. So if he walks in the room and he says, hey, Robbie, how you doing? So I perceive what he said by hearing and seeing and feeling. And my perception might be, oh, look, he's walking in really tired. He said, how you doing? But it's a bit shaky and he's looking away. I hope he's okay. After perceiving, we move on to emotion and thought, right? There's the thought comes in, and my thought is, oh my goodness, he is tired, he's acting a little bit off, I hope he's okay. This will generate the feeling, and the feeling that I might have is, I'm sorry for him, I hope he had an okay day, I hope his day will get better, something along that line. In turn, this will generate an action, and that's the last step, there's step 4. And I might then tell him, I'm sorry for you, I'm sorry, are you okay? Is something off? You feel like you're not well today. So this is the order of them. It can also go another way. It could be that he comes in looking like that and I generate a thought that says, oh, he's moody. Why is he moody coming here today for work? Why? That's so irritating. Why can't you put a smile on your face or so on? And then that will generate an irritated feeling or an irritated emotion. Irritation then moves on to action, and I might say, I don't like this behavior. Can you please next time come here with a smile, and on and on. It can go anyway. I choose my thought based on my perception. This is for us adults. Now I'm going to shift to children, how a child works. What children actually do is they go directly from emotion to action. Emotion, action. So Vincenzo walks in, and imagine Vincenzo's a little child into the room, and I'm a little child in the classroom or the preschool, and he's grumpy, or at least I think he's grumpy, right? Maybe it's a child who's shy. He's just shy, or he didn't sleep enough, or he's sad because mommy dropped him off. I look and I see that he walked in and he didn't look at me, and he just turned around and he walked the other direction. But usually he plays with me. So immediately the emotion is he didn't look at me and he didn't smile, and I might just toddle towards him and push him. That's immediate because the little one thinks this little one doesn't like me or doesn't want to play, but he's my friend. How could you enter the room like that and not look at me? And that's how toddlers do. This is how it goes. It's immediately emotion, action, emotion, action, emotion, action. That is extremely cute. I have to giggle about it. Some people find it very difficult to cope with, again, because of our childhood. Our childhood is our program. So there's again your bit about conscious parenting. I ask myself, why do I find it very cute when children do things that other adults find extremely irritating? It's simply because of my childhood. I've learned that a child that's crying is adorable and just as cute as a child that's laughing. And the cry is because he's releasing, and I just have to pick them up, cuddle them, kiss them, rock them, and it will pass. I didn't learn that crying is not okay. I didn't learn that crying is irritating. I didn't learn that crying is unacceptable social behavior. I didn't learn that if you're a man, you shouldn't cry. I didn't learn that if you're a girl, you're a crybaby. I learned that crying, just like every other emotion, is welcome in the family, is acceptable. It is the same as laughing when you're happy. It is the same as eating when you're hungry. It is the same as drinking when you're thirsty. When you get upset, you have a good cry and life moves on. You don't bottle it and hold it. That's what I learned. Again, that's the program that I had in my childhood. Therefore, it is used in today's situation with my children at my care or my centers and my school. And does it serve me well? Yes, it does. Check. I'm going to keep it that way. Does it serve me? If it's the other way around and I frown at crying, does it serve me well? No, I get irritated and upset and huff and puff every time a child cries. I need to stop. I need to look back and find out, why do I find that so irritating? Why do I give myself permission to get so upset over a child crying? Where does it stem from? And once I know where it stems from, I can now work on myself as an adult and know not to repeat the cycle with the children in my care. So this is how a child works. I hope that is clear. Like I said, it goes from emotion to action. Yeah, I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, how do I do this? How do I work with the children? Can I teach them? Of course you can. This is exactly why I am saying this. Teach children as early as you can how to go through understanding that you see, smell, hear, and feel with perception, that you then can choose your thought, like you choose your clothes in the morning. You can choose to think, he's tired today, I'll give him some time and we'll play later. Or you could choose to think, he doesn't like me. And then you can see what feeling that will match the thought, because your feeling will always match the thought. And then you can take action. And that's reflecting and thinking and going back. In fact, many of us adults, and I'm sure you agree with me when I say that, don't even do that. Many of us are, I'm sure you know people that jump from emotion to action, and they have not even learned how to do this. Basic way of navigating yourself and life and understanding and perceiving is something that many people don't even know because they never learned it as children. And now I'm saying, if now you know this, please teach it to your child and hear yourself while you do it as well. And they have not even learned how to do this. Basic way of navigating yourself and life and understanding and perceiving is something that many people don't even know because they never learned it as children. And now I'm saying, if now you know this, please teach it to your child and hear yourself while you do it as well.